all this training. So we're so pumped up. We are so excited. I am going to just pass the baton over to our host for the day, who is our brother, our friend, our business partner, great guy. I have so much respect for him. One of the hardest working men I know. I've worked with him for 2 years. And in the last 2 years, when everybody has been resting, he has been wrestling. He works like he's broke. And he's really proving to us that it's not anything that makes you successful except the attitude. I am very honored to introduce to us our big man, marketing director, actor, celebrity, fine boy, all put together in one bundle called Mr. Harold Amenyah. Harold, can you hear me? Unmute yourself and take it away.
Yes, Charles. I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. For a moment, I was wondering who was being introduced. I thought you probably had, tagged someone else to take over the call. But thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to actually also be here to serve other people and to continue to impact the world through the amazing vehicle of Worldventures. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's call. So our Monday Night Live is ready to roll. So tonight, our guest, very special guest at that, he's a biochemist by training and with a master's degree in food science and technology. He worked in development consulting field as an analyst, executing projects for local companies, multinational brands, and international development agencies. He followed his passion for the arts and transitioned into theater, serving as a cast member and eventually the pioneering head of business development for Ghana's leading theater production company, Roverman Productions, under the leadership of the celebrated James Ebo White. He was tasked with building the business and revenue base behind artistry, a role he has excelled in for the past 8 years. Our guest over the past 9 years has built a highly appreciated brand as a professional event MC known as Kabutey My MC. He was voted Ghana's best event MC for the year 2019. He's a firm believer in multiple and passive income streams. This is demonstrated in his entrepreneurial role as the director of Horseman Shoes, Ghana's leading indigenous shoe brand, and he's currently focused on also passionately driving expansion of Worldventures as an efficient travel medium and, more importantly, as a tool for empowerment in building financial freedom. He has been an active member since August 2018, now a marketing director, and is gradually being recognized as an emerging leader within the professional network community across Africa. He is married and blessed with 3 amazing children, 2 girls and a boy. He's committed to self-growth, wealth creation, and global impact. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have the pleasure, of having the one and only Mr. Kabutey Ocansey joining us on our Monday Night Live. Kabutey, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, my brother, loud and clear.
Awesome. Great stuff. Welcome to Monday Night Live.
Charlie. I feel on top of the world, man. I feel on top of the world. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You are a big man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, look, it means a lot to me, and I'm truly honored and humbled to be on this platform. Let me just spare a few moments just to show respect to the one and only national marketing director in the nation of Ghana. In fact, across the entire West Africa. In fact, if you take Eastern and Southern Africa out, the rest of Africa, our only national marketing director, Charles Mensah, I show respect to you. From day one, we've been looking at your pictures and having you in our slides and talking about Charles Mensah, the top guy in Ghana. And it's just an honor to be here on a day like this, having come through the journey, being inspired by your own story and hearing you talk about how you saw this, literally through strangers on Facebook, and you took that leap of faith, that belief. I believe that you were called for this, but not only were you called yourself as well with the action. And today, all of us are just a product of your inspiration. So thank you so much. It means a lot to be here. Harold, yes, boss.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I hear you were on stage last night. Was it last night or the whole
Yes, yes, yes.
How did that go?
Oh, it was fantastic, man. It was fantastic. It was just fantastic seeing myself again, going back in time when I started my theater journey. First at KNUST as just a part-time, the fun thing. Never did I think in my life that it would become my full-time work. And started in 2011 with Roverman Productions. No, yesterday was epic. I just loved it. I loved it. I enjoyed the whole thing.
Right. So
I'm sure some people may be a bit lost, but
you'll get it. So you don't only work behind the scenes, you also work on stage with Roverman?
Yes. Actually, I started working on stage with Roverman. So I first auditioned to join Roverman Productions as a cast member. So I was accepted in January 2011, yes. And I did that for 1 full year. At the time, I was still working with a consulting firm. So that was like my part-time after work kind of thing. Did that for 1 full year. And then I left my consulting firm. And through a miracle of circumstances, by the next a month after that, the next year, I was full-time with Roverman as head of business development. Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Now, you seem to have a lot going on for you. I mean, I've known you to be a part of the Roverman team. I've also known you to be that outstanding MC, that very well sought after, highly sought after, one of the most bankable event MCs we have in the country and beyond. How are you able to juggle all these things together with building Worldventures?
Charlie, one father figure of mine told me some time back that when what is chasing you has not stopped, you cannot stop running, because you either continue running and escape what's chasing you, or you stop and you get devoured by it, I think I've just been blessed. I've just been blessed with, if I look back at my life, the transitions, how I moved from one place to another, have all been kind of like miraculous to me if I look back, because none of them is something that I sat down to script and to plan for it to become. I went finished my SS. I went to read biochemistry at KNUST because I wasn't too sure what to read, to be honest. I was going to do science, but I wasn't sure which aspect of the sciences. So I chose biochemistry so that when I finished, if I wanted to go into medicine or pharmacy or biological science or great, then I could decide to do that. I joined that and I realized I love food, so I specialize in food biochemistry, and that's how it started. And then here's where we are. So I do quite a lot because they kind of just came to me. I didn't really script them, like I said. So I left biochemistry master's degree, and then I went into a consulting firm, which again came by complete coincidence. When I was doing biochemistry, I was dreading my future, because the holy grail for biochemistry, food science, is for you to be in a lab with a food processing company, maybe a Nestle, a Unilever, and these are great places to work for those who work there. But I used to have panic attacks, literally. I used to have panic attacks whenever I thought about myself in a white lab coat in a research and development lab, trying to, because my life is about people. My life, I hate monotony, I hate repetition. I like to engage with people, and I couldn't see myself living that life. Out of nowhere, a consulting firm comes through and a long trail of recommendations. And then within 6 months, before I realized, my whole life was changed. I started working full-time with a consulting firm. Did that for 5 years. Then I auditioned for Roverman Productions. Then before I realized, I was working for Roverman. And then one day I was sitting in my office and this guy walks into my office with a pair of shoes. And I was blown away, completely shocked that somebody would be able to do this in Ghana. And I asked him, how come nobody knows about you? How come I've never heard about you? And even though he didn't come there for me, for the next 2 hours, the conversation was between me and him. And so I just started just supporting him, just sharing, just marketing and things like that. And then eventually, I'm talking about my partner, Tony, with Horseman Shoes as my CEO. And then, somewhere along the line, we decided to get into a formal partnership. And so we did that and pushed that forward. As for MCing, again, 2011, I had just left my consulting firm. I had just joined Roverman Productions. Then I attended 2 weddings back to back. And both of them were what I call money no be problem kind of weddings, really plush, exclusive weddings. Everything was perfect, unfortunately, except the MCs. And you know, when the MC is terrible, it affects everything. Even the taste of the food changes. That's what I believe. You know, so we're sitting there watching the couple cringe, and I was like, oh, Charlie, at least for your wedding day, you deserve something better than this. And then I kept on. My next thing was, if for this guy in Kwadi, I'm sure I can do better than this, you know. So the next Saturday, we went for another wedding, and different venue, different couple, different MC, but the same circumstance. Terrible MC, terrible experience. So for the next 5 days, it was on my mind. I went to work on Friday. Something just hit me. I went on Facebook. I created a page called Kabutey MC. And that was about 7:30 in the morning. I went out to work. After lunch, came back at 1:30. When I went back to check, I had my first inquiry on that same day, between 7:30 and 1 p.m. And yeah, that's how the journey started. A lady called Myra called me to host her wedding. And I enjoyed it. I loved it. I prepared for it. I went. And at that same wedding, I had probably like 6 other events that day, because everybody kept going to her and asking her, who's this guy? Where did you find him from? Is he your family member? Well, long and short, that's how it started. So I do these things because, Charlie, man has to survive, the honest truth. Man has to survive, you know. And I think I've always believed that to whom much is given, much is expected, you know. And I think that I've been blessed in many ways. And Charlie, as you grow up to your responsibilities grow, you know, your responsibilities grow. So beyond your immediate family, there's the extended family, there's other people that's, you know, and you can't shed your responsibilities. You can't pretend they are not there. So whenever an opportunity presents itself, you open up and you embrace it. But how do I combine everything with Worldventures? To be honest, it's quite an easy decision. I mean, if you ask me, it's quite an easy decision in the sense that, look, what Worldventures is, I can't put it in words, to be honest with you. You know, the more I've stayed with this company, the more I've realized that it is more than just a company to help us make money. It is literally like a movement to change life experience for people. You know, that's the way I put it. I remember the first time I heard Wayne Nugent say that he does not have a financial objective for Worldventures, that he has a creation objective for Worldventures. I mean, that just bust my brain, you know, like for somebody to think to that point that I want to evolve something that somebody I don't know from somewhere, generations after me, years after me, miles away from me, will be able to tap into this thing and literally change the entire trajectory of their lives, not just for them, but for their entire family, for the people who depend on them, for the country, everything, you know. Look at what people like, you know, Sashin have been able to achieve. Look at the Matt Morrises, look at the Martin Indihos, the Helen Kitinjis. I mean, look, their lives have changed forever. Yes, their countries, their cities, their children's lives have changed forever. Their grandchildren whom they've not seen, their lives have changed just because of the decision they took to become a part of Worldventures. And so for me, Worldventures is, Charlie, it's deep. It's deep, you know. It's really, really deep.
It is. And, you know, Kabutey, it's actually very interesting that you bring this up. I mean, as early as you have brought it up, because we're going to get to that bit quite later. But let me just take you back a little bit, okay? You signed up in August 2018, right?
Yes, 2018.
How was it? How did you chance on the opportunity? You know, who invited you? Were you an invite, or were you a stubborn one like myself? Just take us through how you chanced upon the opportunity.
All right, so I went to host an event. I remember the event. It was for one of the top officers at WAEC. She was celebrating her 50th birthday. So I went to host the event at Alisa Hotel. And when the event ended, this lady walks up to me and asked me for a card, you know, said she liked how I emceed, gave me a few compliments. I was happy. She asked for a card and I shared the card. It was normal. It's not a big deal. Then 2 days later, I got a call from her asking me, inviting me to some, you know, so what she said was that, okay, she wants me to, if we could meet up at Alisa Hotel, that she wants to show me something. And, you know, Charlie, I'm a warm-blooded young man, you know, and here was a warm-blooded young lady inviting me to Alisa Hotel for an evening meeting. Charlie, at some point, I wasn't sure what the boundaries were, if you know what I mean. So, to be honest, I swept her for 3 days. I didn't show up. She would text, she would call. I kept serving her. So eventually, she sent a message to say, "Oh, it's nothing personal. It's just a business opportunity that she thinks I'll find interesting." So to be honest, I was very reluctant, but at that point, I was feeling a bit bad. So I decided, okay, I will show up. So I asked her when and what time. She gave me the dates and the time. She said I should be there at 4:30 p.m. I intentionally got there at 6:30 p.m. It was intentional because I wasn't really interested in whatever it was. I decided I'm not interested, but just out of courtesy's sake, I'm in the service industry, so let me just show up and just take the roster and tell her, "Oh, I'm really sorry, I was late," and then I go. So I went, she saw me, they had finished the presentations, everybody was gone, they were all in the foyer. And then I did my apology thing and about to turn around. And she says, no. This was Barbara. Let me mention her name. Her name is Barbara. So Barbara says, "Oh, no, wait, hold on. I'll talk to the guy who'll come down and present to you. Just wait." So I waited, she went off and then went to the reception and then they called the room. So this gentleman comes down and this guy shows up, Afro hair, some nice flashy sneakers, with a dark skin, darker than mine, and an accent, says he's from Uganda. And I'm like, the only thing I remember from Uganda is Idi Amin, And this guy looks in my face and tells me, "You know what? I'm about to show you something, and I can tell you that tonight you will not sleep." And I was looking at the guy in the face, and in my mind, I was like, who does this guy think he is? I mean, what, Long and short, this was Martin Indiho. He opened the laptop, gave me earpiece. I put it in my ears right there in the lobby of Alisa Hotel. This was probably around 7:30 p.m. or something like that. And then I sat down and I watched it. And as I was watching it, like, slide after slide after slide after slide, I was struggling inside. I didn't want him to see that what he had said would happen was already beginning, even though I had not even finished. So I was, keeping myself together in the excitement. Long and short, look, my brother, when I finished, long and short was, when I finished watching the thing, I just looked at him and I asked him, "Charlie, are you sure all of this is true?" He says, "Yes." So I asked him a few tough questions here and there, but I knew I was sold. I knew I was sold. So right there that day, I just signed up, just like that.
Okay, cool. So what did it for you? What caught your attention?
Oh, well, to be honest with you, so I had known about the model of network marketing, okay? I had actually signed up with another network marketing company about 3 years earlier, but I didn't last 2 weeks in it. I didn't, because immediately after I joined, I realized that as great as the product was, I didn't feel like it had longevity. Let me put it that way. I don't want to mention brands, that's what I'm trying to explain, but I didn't think that it had longevity, and I think, and I mean, it's in the category of supplements. But here I was thinking to myself, I mean, Harold, you live your whole life without supplements and you are fine. You don't have any problem. Now, because I have joined a marketing company, I come to you and I have to convince you that even though you are fine without supplements, they are missing something in your life. So now you need to all of a sudden start taking supplements for the rest of your life. You understand me? And right. I signed up at the highest level. I bought everything that needed to be, but after 2 weeks, I realized that, look, I can't sell this. I can't sell it. So I left it. Fortunately for me, what it did for me 3 years before was that it allowed me, it educated me about network marketing. It was at that time I got to hear about people like Haltenbogs, and things like that. I did a vision board, all of that. I mean, I was really open up to it. So my conclusion through that experience about 3-4 years earlier was that the network marketing model is an amazing model. However, everybody needs to find a company with a product that they can personally align with And then they can also find longevity in terms of the relevance of that product. That was my conclusion at the time. So when I saw Worldventures, when I was sitting there watching it, I saw the travels, I saw the fun, I saw, you know, the music, the food, the excursions in there. I saw all of that, and I was just thinking about myself and my life. And I'm like, this is me in every sense, you know, the excitement in there, the passion, the joy, the adventure, you know, everything in there. You're meeting people, you're having fun from different cultures. And I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would ever be able to. Up until that time, I'd been in a plane twice in my life, you know, international flights twice. Both were company-related kind of trips. And company-related trips, Charlie, you just go to the hotel and you come. You don't even go to the country. You go to the hotel and then you come back, you know. So when I was looking at everything that I felt my life was about, and then I got to see about the personal development side. I got to see about the fact that you could grow through to become a trainer, to inspire people, to affect people's lives. And at that point, you know, in my own personal life, my vision of my life, I have a clear idea of my vision of my life. And everything I have done has had, you know, one role to play in that. So when I saw this, it was just like I'd been catapulted 10 steps ahead of my vision of my life, you know, in terms of now, not only can I have fun and excitement, I can make money out of it, and then I can fulfill the vision for my life, which is about literally, you know, touching the hearts and the lives and the minds of people and impacting their lives. Like everything just came together. Everything just came together for me in that moment. And Charlie, man needed money. At the end of the day, man needed money at the time as well. So when I saw it and I saw that this is something that if nobody wants, me alone, I'll go on all my trips myself, you know, with my family. And I'll use this to be able to, you know, build myself some good income and then pass it on to the world. So at that point, those were the elements. And for me, everything just made sense. It just came. It was just like this was made for me. That's how I felt at the time, the first day I saw it here.
Awesome. It's very interesting, you know. So I mean, is it Barbara? Barbara invited you, right?
Yes, Barbara. Yes.
Bless her for not giving up on you, just like the way Beatrice never gave up on me. And,
yes. You're right.
It was actually very funny because I also showed up on the third day. After the first day, no show. The second day, no show. The third day, I just decided to show up just so that she could get off my back.
That's right.
You know, I didn't show up to the presentation. You know, I was hoping for an opportunity, but I didn't show up. I wasn't really excited on, you know, going out there to join something that I'm not used to or anything non-conventional. Yeah. You know, I wanted to get her off my back so that she just stops calling my phone. You know, so it's actually very funny, and you know, it actually always reminds me not to give up on people, especially when you are inviting and they probably are not making time to hear you out and all that. You know, if they haven't seen it, you don't give up on them. You know, so let's walk us through your first 1 month. You walk to Alisa, Martin does the presentation for you. You sign up on the spot. How was your first month? What did you do?
So when I signed up that day, the next day, I went to Christ the King. Christ the King was where the team was meeting at the time for their presentations. And when I got there, I met Michael, Reverend Michael Agbenyega, marketing director. All right. And you know, when I went there and I sat there, when I got home that day, the first day I signed up, I told my wife, I told the family, I've done this, I've joined this thing, you know, I was trying to explain and get them excited. They weren't getting what I had gotten, so, but well, we just carried on. So the next day when I went to the place, then all of a sudden it dawned on me that, hey, I'm about to invite my whole world to join something just based on some videos and pictures I had been shown. You know, and all of a sudden, I got caught in a certain fright because I didn't have any personal evidence of the thing yet. You know, if it was for me alone, fine, I was excited. But then it eventually dawned on me that, hey, I'm going to bring people to this thing. I'm going to bring my family. I'm going to bring my friends. I'm going to respect me. So what if this thing is not true? So I remember I went to Reverend Michael. And if you ask him, you know, the day I hit marketing director, he was the first person I called to tell him, to appreciate him and his wife. And when I called him, he reminded me. He reminded me because that day I saw him. After he did the presentation, that was my first presentation after Martin had showed it to me. When we finished, I walked up to him because he was introduced as a pastor. So I walked up to him and I said, Reverend, as for you, I'll suffer. So I beg you, I know myself. I know how I put myself into things. So I beg you, if this thing is not true, please just tell me. I won't tell anybody, just between you and I, you tell me, and then and then I'll go, because I'm going to put myself into this thing. And Charlie, if it doesn't go well, it will worry me. He laughed at me, he looked at me, and he said, you know, the day you hit milestones, we'll remember this conversation. That's what he told me that day. So the day I hit marketing director, when I called him, he reminded me, Kabutey, you remember that first conversation that we had? Reverend Michael, wherever you are, God bless you. Thank you. Michael taught me everything I know. Michael taught me how to present. Michael gave me his slides. And I wasn't even on Michael's team. I'm not, up to now, I'm not on, Michael does not benefit in any way from anything that I do and the team that I have built. But Michael and his wife, Diane, they were the anchor of the entire team. And they literally held my hand, because Martin left, you know, not long after that. Obviously, he wasn't based here, you know, and they held my hand. They taught me everything. They explained everything. They helped calm me down whenever I was a little anxious. They motivated me to go for, you know, view from the edge. So anyway, Reverend Michael, God bless you. You and Diane, I owe you guys for life. Honestly, I owe you guys for life. Thank you. Now,
awesome.
That was my first. So let me just make it fast. Sorry. So my first month. Now, when that realization hit me, even though Michael had assured me, I was still
You're struggling
afraid.
with your belief.
Yes, I was struggling with my belief because I didn't have anything to hold on to. It was just what had been shown. So I decided that, okay, you know what? The good thing was that the view from the edge, which is a training, one of our major trainings, continental trainings, was happening 3 weeks after I joined. And you know, as you know, training events are not paid for. So this event was going to cost me almost $2,000. And I had just paid $500 to be a platinum member. You know, I was so excited, I didn't even want to look at gold or anything. And at that time, platinum was $500. If you convert it, it was 2,500 Ghana cedis at the time. And it was a big, I mean, it was a big deal for me. It was a big deal. It was big money. So the decision I took was that I was so excited about a thing, I could not drop it. I could not leave it. However, I was also now afraid that if I introduce people to it and it's not authentic, then the small credibility I have in town will be affected. And so the conclusion of the matter was that I'll find that $2,000 and go for the view from the edge. My goal for going for the view from the edge in South Africa was to prove to myself whether Worldventures was true, whether it was real. Because I figured that, okay, if there's some kululu about it, if there's some fake, something bad about it, at least when you go for their training there, you will see it. You understand me? So I thought that it would be a very high price to pay. But even if I go and all that money only confirms to me that the company is not legitimate, it's not authentic, that what they are saying is not true, it will still be better than for me to invite people and later on find out that it is not authentic. So that's how I convinced myself. And look, the honest truth is I had to borrow part of that money. I had to borrow part of that, almost $2,000 to go, because $2,000, Charlie, that's like almost 12,000 Ghana cedis, you know? And I went. Now here am I, going to this place fearful and wondering what's going to happen. And I arrived in Pretoria, South Africa, and there were about 5,000 people in the auditorium. And these were people who were already making between $500 and $200,000 a month. And they had come to be inspired, to be motivated, to be, energized on how to go back to their countries and go and make more money. And Charlie, Harold, you have been at training, so you know the energy at training. Look, first of all, when I got to the auditorium, the car park was like an auto show. It was like an auto show. What be Mercedes, BMW, the Audis? Charlie, then Sachin came to park his Ferrari. Yeah. Charlie, look. Then we entered, and then the training proper started. The atmosphere, the energy, the evidence. Then Marcasetta came on stage. And this was the view from the edge. And I'm a theater person. Yes. And how the view from the edge is like theater productions, So I was just completely immersed in the whole thing. Then the climax for me was on day 2. I remember when he did the hockey character, Charlie Massa. I cried like a baby. I was standing there in the auditorium, screaming my lungs out and tears coming down my eyes like crazy.
Yeah.
When I left.
You can go on and on and on and on about trainings, but you see, I've always told people, and everybody in my team knows that. Listen, I don't understate the essence of training. And you see, I don't know, man, but I feel without training, nobody can do this. Trust me.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And I was having a conversation with one member in my team, and he was saying that, listen, he's in the UK, and we're having a challenge. He was like, Harold, listen, man, this business, if you join and you don't humble yourself to really follow the system, no matter who you are, you can't do it. And it just brings to mind the fact that, it's so funny. Sometimes when you come in, especially when you come in and you probably have a bit of experience with marketing and sales, or, or you're well connected and influential, you might think you can just do it.
That's right.
But that's right. Or trainings that get to you, man. And I don't know how it's done. Words cannot describe the impact you get from training. So
you can't.
What would you say to people? I mean, when new members join, and this is a battle for me every time, trying to get new members to appreciate the value of training and getting them to pay an extra amount for training. And, for people that have joined during this COVID times, they are so fortunate that training is coming to them online.
I know,
you don't
right?
have to fly all the way for training. So what would you say to new members on the call who have heard that they have to book for the next training, which is bootcamp?
No, look, let's go straight for the punch. The question I want to ask every new member is, do you want to succeed with Worldventures, or you want to be an observer? That's all there is to it. It's as simple as that. Do you want to succeed, or you want to be an observer? If you want to be an observer, that's fine. You can watch all the videos, you can download all the things and feel good about it. Like Sachin would say, you get so excited that you go and sleep. If that's what you want, fine. But if you want to succeed at this game, trust me, it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world. And you see, this business will test you. It will test you. It will reveal the people in your life to you. People you think are open-minded, people you think are smart, people you think are looking out for your best interest, people you think that they'll say a lot of motivational stuff, and it will reveal them to you. But beyond revealing them to you, and you see, it can be so heartbreaking. That thing can be so heartbreaking, When people, and then you always, the part I still don't get my mind around is the people who they have even borrowed money from you in the past.
We were having this conversation just this afternoon.
And then you have gone to see this thing. And then you are doing it too. and you have brought them to come and do it, then they see the thing, and then when they finish, they don't pick your call again. And I'm like, Charlie, why did you come? Like, what planet are you on? You know,
it's crazy.
So look,
it's crazy.
Training, yeah.
Go ahead.
Training will make you realize that whatever you are going through is the standard protocol for this business. It's normal. It's very normal. Beyond this healing the people around you to yourself, it will reveal you yourself also to yourself. This business will ask you, are you really sure about the things you say you want? Are you really sure? Because if you're really sure about it, then you have to walk the talk. Then you have to pay the price. I mean, look, Makaseta said it at that first training, it never left my head. He said the hardest thing you will ever do in your life is to be rich. The hardest thing you will ever do in your life is to be rich. But trust me, being rich is worth it. It's absolutely freaking worth it. Look, maybe you don't understand. You see, sometimes the thing becomes so familiar to us that we forget the impact of it. Look, let me take the story of Nicholas, okay? Our fresh RMD. And Charlie, big ups, bro. Big ups, big ups, big ups. Congratulations. It's my joy and pride, you know, that there are only 2 people in West Africa who have been able to pop an RMD. That's Charles Mensah, the legendary Charles Mensah, and Charlie, my good self. So it's when I take pride and delight in, and I'm truly, truly excited about it and for Nicholas. But look, guys, let's put Nicholas's story and let's put it in context. What does it take? What are the qualification criteria to be an original marketing director? The qualification criteria is that you have to have at least 900 members on your team, 450 on each leg. And on top of that, you should have made at least $15,000 US within the last 3 months. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? The qualification criteria is that you should have made $15,000 within the last 3 months. Guys, this is $15,000 US we're talking about. Come on. That is what you are aspiring to do. That is what you want to achieve. Can you imagine what you can do with that in your life? And that is just to qualify. Then after you qualify, you are making $10,000 every single month. Every month. And you are telling me that you cannot spend $50 to learn how to be able to achieve that? Come on. Do you understand the point I'm making? You cannot. So if you really want it, it will be tough. It will come with this all up and down and all. But I'm asking what you are doing today and what it pays you. How many years before, when you put all the income together, you will get $15,000? And this is an opportunity that can push you, catapult you to that level. And by the way, he's achieved this in 5 months. In 5 months. Do you understand me? Look, we worked hard. We worked hard. I kid you not. It wasn't a joke. I know the journey. I was there. I lived it. So I know the things we did. You know, and not to take anything away from the efforts that Nicholas put into it, not at all. But Charlie, my guy, I did presentations like crazy. For the first 7 days that Nicholas joined, I couldn't present to anybody else except to his people, because he invited that massively. Massively. Yeah. Do you understand? In his first 7 days, he brought 125 to my home in La Paz. Got people to fly down from Kumasi, drive from Cape Coast and things like that for us to present to them. That was the foundation of what we are experiencing today. That was it. You know? And all that we did, guess what? The reason I'm still with Worldventures today is because of that first training I went for. That's the reason I'm still here. That's the reason I haven't quit. Because guess what? Even my upline has quit.
Normal.
Can you imagine that?
Normal.
You
All
understand?
she was supposed to do was to have brought you. So there
So,
we go.
yeah, well,
Right.
yeah, I guess so. So, guys, look, if you want it, training is a way to get it. It's as simple as that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. By the way, massive news. We've just popped a new marketing director. Big ups to the one and only boss lady, Francesca PJ, the latest marketing director in town. Proud of you, Francesca. I am so proud of you.
Wow.
Hardest working ladies that I've ever come across. Man, nobody deserves this better than you. Massive congratulations, Francesca, the latest marketing director in town. So, Kabutey, let's continue with the story of the impact of training and what it did for you when you came back. Okay, so first of all, when you found out how big Worldventures is, seeing all those kind of people and realizing that, well, this is not what I thought, and finally getting a confirmation in your spirit. When you came back, how did it impact your business? What difference did it make?
When I was going for the view from the edge, I had one person on my team. One. That was my own younger brother, who had joined my team. He was the only person on my team when I went. When I came back, remember, it was 3 weeks into me becoming a member. When I came back from the view from the edge, 3 weeks later, I was a senior rep. So that was after 6 weeks of joining Worldventures. 3 weeks after the view from the edge, I was a senior rep. This was September 2018. Do you understand? So obviously, something happened. And the only thing that happened was the training. Because it gave me so much belief. It gave me so much assurance. I knew what I had seen. I knew people didn't know it yet. But I knew it so much enough for myself that it didn't matter what anybody else would say. And in that 6 weeks of becoming a senior rep, Charlie, trust me, I probably showed to maybe like 300 people. Okay. And then out of the 300 people, I was able to get direct sign-ups of about 8 or so. And then through supporting those 8 people, I had a team of over 60 people to become a senior rep. So obviously something happened in there, and of course, Michael and Diane were also there to hold me on the ground once we were here. They were delivering the presentations. I was learning and picking up. And then I took the materials and also started doing presentations. Look, and then for 3 months after training, I hit director. This was January 2019. So after 4 months of being with Worldventures. So obviously, again, all of that was just following from the training experience that we had. And look, I had massive rejections. There's one story I tell every time. I invited 30 of my favorite friends, my buddies. These are boys who I'm tight with. And I know that, Charlie, these guys, we're all trying to hustle. We're all trying to make it in life, And I found this thing and I'm excited about it. And I invite these 30 guys to my house. I get some drinks, some beer, I get some grills and chicken and things like that, just to, soften the atmosphere and get people. Charlie, I went to buy a brand new screen, 50-inch screen, just to do the presentation. My guy, I stood on my feet, did the most passionate presentation I can get. Out of the 30 people, Harold, I swear, no sign up. One person did not sign up from that batch of 30 people. But I knew what I'd seen. And so in my heart, I felt sad for them. I really, really, really felt sad, to be honest with you. I felt sad for them. But that's what training did for me. And then it took me, and then in February, I went for Momentum as well. So that also added more fire to it. And then from there, I went for boot camp as well in June. It was when I came back from boot camp that I'm sure you ask about attrition, but that's when I had my first major hit of attrition as well.
That's fine. Okay, cool. So, you have stated clearly the impact of the training, which was a view from the edge, the first one, and what it did for you, and then the fact that you continued. It didn't stop there. So, people don't realize this, but it's actually building from training to training, one training after the other, because it's easy for one to think that, oh, I did just united just a few months ago, so I'm good. I'm going to be an IMD, you know, because I've gotten all the techniques and the strategies to getting to the top. So it's very important that, you know, we build from training to training, because every single training has, you know, a unique way of impacting one's life, and that's definitely something worth noting. So, Kabutey, tell me right now. I mean, ever since we're going to have a whole session on Nick very soon, but I want to know, how did COVID impact your business? You know, how good was it? I met you at the mall one day, and then I was asking you how business was, and you were all smart. You were like, business is booming. I'm like, okay, so what am I doing different? So how did COVID affect you?
Look, my brother, I mean, COVID is a serious thing, and it has affected the lives of people negatively in many respects. So I'm very considerate and very cautious in addressing the COVID situation, because for a lot of people, it has represented a lot of pain, a lot of loss, a lot of hardship. And for a lot of people, they want to delete 2020 from their lives, more or less, you know. But I tell you, my brother, in all sincerity, COVID has been the biggest blessing of my business. I kid you not. I never used to do Zooms. I didn't used to do Zooms. I've joined a few here and there, but maybe from when I joined up to now, I'm not sure I had been up to 2020. I'm not sure I'd been part of even up to 10 Zooms. I'm not sure. We're doing the hard work. We're doing the physical, the moving from one place to another, you know, they're doing the presentations and all of that. And on the average, on a good day, we'll get what? Between 25, 30 people. In the evening, maybe initially we had a much smaller place. When we moved to a bigger place, in the evening, maybe we'll have like 50 people per session. COVID started. To be honest, I panicked initially when I realized that, hey, so we can't do these presentations anymore.
Same.
And then quickly, I mean, I just love the way Worldventures Global just embraced the whole COVID thing,
and they
drove they drove the agenda of just switching to the whole Zoom thing and all of that. And so it allowed, you know, it helped me to transition, because I was lost. I didn't think anything else was going to be possible, you know. And then we put together Zooms, and my brother, on the average, they're doing like what, 80 people per session in the mornings. And currently, we're doing like 300 people per session in the evenings. You understand what I'm saying? And that is what just started. Of course, some people struggled. Some people struggled because some people's networks are not too IT, you know, compliant and things like that. But to be honest with you, it just completely changed the game. The reach. See, from the product side, it gives Worldventures corporates lower prices to buy, so that we can also enjoy lower prices for our packages. Look at the golden tickets. When I look at some of them, I just can't believe it, you know. So that's on the product side. Then on the business side, my guy, everybody who was flexing us back then, who thought they were so cool, they were so settled, they didn't need money, they were financially stable, all of a sudden, all of those people realized that employment salary is no guarantee of financial security. And it was real. So they became more open-minded to it. Then because of the COVID lockdown restrictions, so guess what? People don't have anywhere to go. They are at home. So they are more available to click on a link and to watch. And almost every company and thing were using Zoom. So they kind of trained people for us. So when you invite them, it's easier, and then they just connect onto it and all of that. So Zoom just gave us much bigger reach. It reduced the workload, the physical exertion and the pressure, and yet it got us to be more effective with it, to be able to pass on the training, stay in touch with the whole members and all of that. So Zoom has really helped us to be able to, you know, explode this opportunity for the team. And I'm sure if it wasn't for this situation of Corona and the lockdown, it would have taken us much longer to get to where we are now as a team.
You know, and it's massive stuff. And I want to find out, because we obviously know that this too shall pass, okay? COVID is obviously not going to be there forever. We're definitely going to have our lives back. Everything is going to normalize very soon. What do you foresee, or what are your plans for building your business post-COVID, you know?
I mean, definitely the Zooms have become a major part in what we do. I think that that's going to really be the anchor point going forward. because this too shall pass. Absolutely, I believe that. But it will still take a while. It will still take a while for people to be very comfortable, you know. So I think at some point we'll definitely bring back the physical presentations because that works better for some people as well. So we have to respect that because we're working for the whole team, for all of us to succeed. But definitely Zoom is going to remain a very strong, you know, component in our team building. It's just allowed us to be able to keep in touch. You know, the WhatsApp platforms have been exploding. You know, we've been able to really, and it's allowed us to also build an international team. You know, previously we didn't have a lot of international members, but now we have a lot of international members, you know, from other countries because they can join by the Zoom. And then you see, it has also even elevated the profile of our membership. I mean, proud to it, not to disrespect anybody, but you know, because certain people cannot leave their offices and come to a hotel for a presentation, so you couldn't reach out to certain people. You know, as I speak to you right now, on our team, we have over 40 PhDs, over 40 PhD holders on our teams. You know, we have a paramount chief who himself is a PhD holder, who himself has 2 master's degrees, and is a paramount chief in an area where he has over 51 sub-chiefs under him, and he's a member of our team. We have a managing director of a bank as a member of our team. You know, we have a high court judge, not to talk about the professionals at the various levels, all the way down to students. You know, so it's allowed us to be able to, you know, reach a much wider spectrum of people, and it has elevated the whole product to the point where now there's much more belief, there's much more assurance. You know, when you're doing a Zoom presentation and you have these personalities like this, you know, coming on the Zoom and giving their personal testimonies, you know, it just makes so much of a difference, you know, for us. It's allowed, you know, us to be trained even more on the go. And I have to give big shout outs to IMD Martin Indiho. He literally came to Ghana to support us, and then Corona happened and he got locked down in Ghana. And I think it has been one of the biggest blessings to our team as well, because he's been able to like focus his mind on supporting us to really build. And I mean, he really is the foundation, the stone on which all of this is being built upon. His motivation, his, you know, his not understanding of the back office and getting us to be aligned. You know, Martin can give you pressure like crazy, man. I kid you not, man. Charlie, if you have one more cycle to hit 3, and this guy gets to know, you are dead. You know, so yeah, but he's really helped to drive the culture of Worldventures and the culture of the objective, the bigger picture for Worldventures. You know, the guy is just so focused on this Worldventures thing like crazy. I mean, I thought I was focused, but Charlie, Martin is in a whole world of his own, you know, and the sacrifice that he's had to make in leaving his family, in leaving his children. He's missed birthdays. I'm sure he's missed anniversary dates. I'm sure, you know, you can imagine being away. He's probably been here for what, almost over 3 months now already, you know, because of all of this. But it's been such a blessing for us because it's allowed us to stay close to the fire that he brings and the evidence that he brings to the whole, you know, thing. And then it's expanded our reach into Worldventures Global as well. Because of the Zoom, you're able to join other Zooms from different places. You're able to join training events. And I had never heard of Peter Powderham, you know, until we started doing Zooms. And then can you imagine, this guy has been in network marketing for over 40 years, you know, and this guy talks about network marketing. It makes you feel like, Charlie, it's the ish, it's what it needs to be done. You know, we get to get close and have bonded with people like Helen Kitinji, like Philippa, like Hadassah, you know, like Sashin. I mean, these usually, of course, by virtue of different countries, they feel so far away. But now we all feel very close, very intimate. And I think that it's made such a big difference for us. I mean, it allowed, you know, NMD Charles Mensah to do a presentation on our behalf, you know, to support our team. And it was just such a powerful experience. People seeing this is the top ranked guy in Ghana who really took this at a time when nobody even knew about Worldventures. And it's just elevated it to a whole new level. And I think for all what we are all doing together, I mean, the termination point, what we are all waiting for, I guess, is just for Ghana to be officially opened. And I think that it's only a matter of time with the pace that we are going for. And, you know, like, look, Harold, let me just spend a moment to talk about you as well, because you see, what you have achieved with this for all of us, it's grand, you know, in the sense that, you see, a lot of celebrities cannot take rejection. A lot of celebrities cannot take rejection because they are used to being the center of attention. They are used to everybody needing them, you know. But for you to come from that background and still be, you know, in this, for you to still be focused in this, for you to have been able to drive it, not just with, you know, nice words and then, but with the effort, with the growth, with the increase in ranks, you know, for you to hit marketing director. I mean, just for me, people will sit down and think, oh, he's a celebrity, so it's easy. Actually, I think it'll probably be much more difficult for you, you know? Yeah, because people always think that you are being paid to do something and somebody else is inspiring you to do something, you know, but for me, I think that, you know, people like you, people like, and let me give big ups to Roger and his team in Kumasi and Felix. I remember my first training, Charlie. These are the guys who really made South Africa exciting for all of us, you know. And so, Charlie, greetings to everybody. It's really dope out there. Yeah.
Awesome. So I want to find out from you, Kabutey, what is a day like in your life? I mean, Worldventures wise, when you wake up. How do you go about your business?
Okay, so let me use today as an example. I woke up today around 7 o'clock. I slept around almost 2 a.m. I woke up at 7 because there was a 3-way call. A downline wanted me to do a 3-way call. So they called. So I have to wake up, you know, whatever it is. So that is what woke me up. I couldn't go back to sleep. So once that was done, then I got into my track suits and then I hit the road. I went for a walk. And you see, that's the joy of working with Worldventures. You know, I'm not rich anywhere. I'm not rich. Marketing director is nowhere. We're just, you know, somewhere in the middle. But it allows me the freedom to do a walk at 8:30 a.m. on a Monday morning. I mean, Charlie, that is a life that people wait till they retire before they can do, you know. So I went for my walk. I came back home. When I came, there were a few missed calls for 3-way calls as well. So I did that again. And then, and then it was almost time for our 10 a.m. presentation. We have a Zoom at 10 a.m. So I went into that presentation to do a testimonial. And then I took my bath, ate my breakfast, got myself together. I had to go to my kids' school to chase up something. I was back by 12:30 so when I came back, I just went straight into my office. I've created an office at home. So, and I was there until 8 p.m., you know, when we're just about getting ready for our 8 p.m. presentation. So we had our 3 p.m. presentation Zoom as well. I joined in to do the testimonial. And then I was just doing my own follow-ups, my own 3-way calls, my own invitations for the evening. And then so essentially, to be honest with you, it's a major part of my life right now. It's a key part of my life. I still do, obviously, because of what I do, events went down significantly, so it affected a lot of that. Events have started coming up. You know, I've done a few last weekend and over the week, but the core of my life right now is around Worldventures because Charlie, my brother, is worth it. It's worth more than anything else. You know, I really love the other things I do. Horseman Shoes is on my heart. I really love and respect Horseman Shoes. And I love events and emceeing. I do. But what Worldventures allows me to be able to envision is really, really big out there. So it really consumes the major part of my team, especially now, because now I'm not just for myself, you know. Now I'm not just for myself. I am for my entire team, you know. And I used to wonder how people like Martin and Charles and Helen and, you know, how they do it in terms of being there for their team, you know. And you have to understand the bulk of our team has never been to any training before. Okay, because we started building in January, let me put it that way, January till date, you understand? So the first training was Momentum. Nicholas got the chance to go for Momentum. Unfortunately, we couldn't rally the rest of the team. In fact, we didn't do well. We didn't promote it well enough. We felt people had just joined. They didn't have enough money. So, Charlie, you know, how do you stress them? So Nicholas went for that. So the bulk of our team has never been for a live event before. You know, so obviously, even though we have achieved a lot of growth, Worldventures are still not entered into a lot of us. Let me put it that way, because like Martin would say, there's a day you join Worldventures, and then there's a day Worldventures enters into you. You know, and for most people, that day sometimes is at the training event. So I get to have to do a lot for my team. It's my joy and my passion to do it. You know, it's not easy. I kid you not, it's not easy. Sometimes if I'm not careful, I don't even get the chance to invite people for myself, which you should never stop doing. You know, so I really do a lot of three-way calls, a lot of, you know, testimonials and things like that. But Charlie, that's what gets the big money coming in. So why not? Why not? Yeah.
Awesome, good stuff, good stuff. So now, we're going to move to, I mean, your newest RMD, Nicholas De here. Amazing stuff. Congratulations on popping the second RMD in West Africa. Definitely something worth congratulating. Big ups on that. Now I want to find out from you. Nicholas was on the call last week, and he was sharing with us, you know, how long it took you to share the blessing of Worldventures with him. Now I want to find out from you. I mean, how long have you? What before Nicholas joined Worldventures? I mean, what was the relationship between you and him?
Well, I mean, look, Nicholas and I met for the first time about 15 years ago. We read the same master's degree together as food science and technology. I had come from biochemistry, he had come from agric, and then we met to do a master's together. That's when we bonded. We had a good, you know, time, a good friendship, throughout those years being at Tech. And from there, we then, I talked to you about the consulting firm that I joined. So I got the opportunity to do a project initially for them. And as part of that project, you know, I invited Nicholas. So Nicholas joined me on that project. We did that whole project together. It was a very successful, you know, big World Bank project that we did at that time. And then came back to school. Then eventually that company, that consulting firm invited me to join them full time. So I joined that consulting firm full time. And then whilst there was opportunity to have other people come into it as well. So I reached out to Nicholas again, and of course he was more than qualified and excited to do so. So he joined me also with that company. So we worked together for another 5 years, you know. And then from that point on, I moved into theater, and then he moved into, you know, his into another consulting firm. And then later on, we moved into the IEA, Institute of Economic Affairs, very big, respected think tank here in Ghana. And I stayed with Roverman, and then I started my MCing career as well. And then Horseman Shoes came along. Then he moved from IEA to IFS. Throughout this whole time, we have kept really in touch. You know, we've kept in touch. We've kept in touch. There's been a long relationship between us, you know. And it's beyond, I mean, Nicholas is beyond my friend. Nicholas is like, it's my brother. Let me put it that way. Nicholas is my brother. You know, so when I joined Worldventures initially, you know, that thing that holds you back and stops you from inviting certain people. You know, that thing caught me when it came to Nicholas, because Nicholas is somebody I really respect. Nicholas is somebody that I really honestly care about. You know, I really care about our relationship and our journey. And after I joined Worldventures and I started traveling, you know, he was with the IEA. And I used to think that, Charlie, this guy, you know, I call him Kofi Annan because he's a fancy guy. Kofi Annan is a fancy guy. And he's a butcher guy as well, you know, fancy film school. Yeah, Nicholas is a butcher guy.
I didn't know that.
Don't say it for him. Don't say it for him to hear. You make noise plenty.
Of course, he has to. He deserves to.
So so I used to, when we used to meet at least every other month. We'll meet together. I know we've had a lot of meetings at Afikiko and other places, and we'll meet and talk for like 3-4 hours. I mean, my family knows his family, his wife knows my wife. You know, we really were that close. But I never spoke to him about Worldventures. He had also seen me traveling more through Facebook and other things, and he also assumed that, oh, my money has just come and I don't know what to do with it, more or less. And so I was traveling around the world, you understand? So I never told him about it. And we had maybe some very light, cursory conversations, but I never really got the confidence to speak to him about it until I had that long attrition period. So from July to November, I really didn't do anything because my team just dissipated. When I came back from boot camp 2017, I had 58 personals at the time. By the time I came back, within the space of 1 month, I had dropped from 58 to 6. So I had 52 of my direct sign-ups put in for whatever reason. It felt like somebody had gone into my team and made an announcement that let's all go, and they all just left. So for almost 6 months, I didn't do anything. And then what I consider as my day one with Worldventures was a day that Martin Indiho called me. He called me sometime in November. And then I don't like talking about this thing because it always makes me a bit emotional, but Martin called me. I remember I had just come from the bathroom. So I didn't even have clothes on. I was still wiping myself. And then he's like, when he came on the line, he was like, Kabutey, what are you doing? What are you doing with this thing? This opportunity is big. This thing is great. You look, believe me, my brother, believe me, it's worth the effort. Do it. And you know the funny thing, even though for almost 6 months I wasn't doing anything, nothing. When I say anything, I mean nothing. No presentation, no showing, nothing. And at the time, my wife was pregnant. She's about to deliver, and you know, there's just too much craziness. And I couldn't believe why all my team had just dissipated. I didn't know what was happening, so I wasn't doing anything. Now, even though I wasn't doing anything, every week I was cycling. 2 cycles here, 3 cycles here, 5 cycles. I was cycling. So Martin was like, look, you're not doing anything, and yet you're cycling. You're making money. Can you imagine if you start doing something? Look, that conversation, literally, it will be patented in my heart for the rest of my life, And then I made a mistake. Right now, I will say I made the blessing of telling him, well, you know what, my wife just delivered 2 weeks ago, and so it's a bit tough for us and all of that. So I took him to the court. The court is, I'm in my bedroom, so the court is just on my right-hand side. So I took the phone to the court, and then I showed him my baby, my third born, my son. And I said, and I was using that as an excuse to get him to empathize with me. So of course, he went all excited, congratulated me, everything. And then when he finished, he asked me, so Kabutey, if God forbid, and something happens to you, what are you leaving behind for your son? That's what he asked me. Charlie, my guy, that question just broke me. It just broke me, man, because look, I work hard. I'm not a lazy guy. I work hard. And I've done a lot of things. But Charlie, sometimes you can make a lot of money, but depending on what the demands on you are, that money can look like nothing. So that was what woke me up, to be honest. That was what woke me up. So when I woke up, I told him, just give me some time. So this was like late November. So then Nicholas and I started having conversations. And he started opening up to me about, him wanting something else in life, him wanting something else. I mean, he's being paid a good salary and all of that, but Charlie, something else in life. He wanted to add something more to his life in terms of income. He knew that there was something more about his life he wanted to achieve. And we used to talk a lot. We used to talk a lot, almost on a daily basis, And then eventually, somebody from another company invited him, okay, to go and see their presentation. And he went to see their presentation. And I haven't asked him that. Nicholas, forgive me about this. I know he hasn't spoken about this publicly himself, but their product was feminine products. Let me put it that way. Okay, I'm sure everybody understands what I mean by feminine products. And Nicholas wanted something in his life so bad that he was ready to champion feminine products if that was what was going to give him the opportunity to build what he wanted. At that point, I knew that, Charlie, if I don't show this to this guy, I'll regret it, he will regret it, and it probably would affect our relationship. Meanwhile, I didn't also want to seem like, oh, because he has found something, I was now being, that kind of, long and short. 21st of December, walked into Nicholas's office, and I made this presentation to him. When I finished the presentation, he got up, he turned and faced the windows. Then he turned, his face was livid. So I was like, hey, Charlie, the guy boy said, Kabutey, how can you know something like this for 1 year and you have never told me about it? Long and short, my brother, I think it was a Monday or a Tuesday. That day was a Monday or a Tuesday. He was the first person I presented to after 6 months. He was the first person after
no
6
activity.
months. Nothing, no activity, nothing, 6 months. Then guess what? When I presented to him, from that day to a week after that day, he had brought 125 people for me to speak to. Look, I had to retile the space that I had at home. My wife and I used to run a restaurant. So I had to retile the place because the tiles were not in good shape. We had to invest in getting extra chairs into the house. So we got about 40 chairs into the place, bought a screen, and he started inviting. Brother, every day, 10 a.m. sharp, we do this back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back. Charlie, when we finish, we'll talk the whole day. We'll talk the whole day. Charlie, we'll sleep like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. He's asking questions and everything. Then the next day, the next day, the next day. You know how this thing, you're excited today, then tomorrow you're afraid, then tomorrow you're this, then this. You know, just keep going through. Charlie, we worked, my brother. We worked. I kid you not. I kid you not, man. Look,
well,
we did a lot of work. We did a lot of work, man.
It's actually it brings a lot. It brings a lot to memory. You know, having this conversation with you, man. I'm just sitting here quietly, and I'm just you know, a lot is coming to memory, and you know, kudos on all that you've done so far. And you know, the fact that you've been able to pop a regional marketing director. Of course, I know the support and the work that has gone into it. I mean, having signed someone who knew nothing about this, to you know, bringing him to the level of leadership where he is definitely a lot of work. And congratulations on that. You know, and you know, there are about 164 people on this call, and you see there are a lot of people on this call who really still don't get what this is about. You know, that people don't realize that you're sorting, you're not really selling. And because so when they show the deal to people and you know they quit or they don't do it or they say no to them, it's like, well, this thing doesn't work or there's something wrong with me. People don't get that you are looking for those who are looking for you. So when you show the deal to someone and they don't sign up, it means that they are not looking for you. So you move on to the next. So it's always a battle, right? And I've been there. I mean, this weekend, for instance, I can't even count the number of people I invited for our weekend blitz, right? And you know, nothing comes out of it. So it's like you always get to that point where you're asking yourself, okay, so do I move on to the next or follow up with the people that have been showing or the people I've shown in this short time? So there's always that battle. But you know, that's why it's good for us to have such conversations, because it always reminds you that it's really, 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 really about sorting. Because when you find that someone, listen, you don't have to say anything for them to get things done. You know, you don't have to say anything for them to get things done, and they take this thing to another level. And I've been there. I know what I'm saying, and it's very important that all the new members on this call realize that you're sorting and looking for those who are looking for you. You see, and the rest will come back later when they probably are in the right timing. So, Kabutey, man, I mean, this is definitely it's been a great one. We've done more than 1 hour already. I want to give an opportunity to people on this call to ask questions, but before then, I'm going to.
Oh, yeah.
You want to say something?
Yes. I do want to say something. So first of all, let me do this now before I pass. So not to take the shine out of Francesca or anything like that. And I mean, Francesca, God bless you. Congratulations, marketing director. I remember meeting you at Momentum in South Africa for the first time. And I was introduced, this is the girl who signed on the former president, you know, and has brought so much honor to all of us. We all used his slide in our presentations. And then just the last Momentum in Cape Town as well, we did the paragliding and all that together. So Charlie, Francesca, congratulations, congratulations. It's a joy to see you come this far. You know, we're all invested in each other's story. So congratulations. But allow me to also use this space to also, I just got notice, I just got information that we also just popped a marketing director, fresh and brand new, all right? This is Christopher Akon. Christopher Akon just popped out as a marketing director. Charlie. You know, it's funny, it's funny. So Christopher also joined us when Nicholas and I were in that consulting firm we worked with. Christopher also joined us as a staff in that consulting firm. And then when eventually we all left, he went into other places. We remember at the time when our office was somewhere in North Ridge, and Charlie, before we realized, Christopher started crossing the street a lot of the times, and there was some Eugenia being the other in the merchant bank. Well, today Eugenia is actually his wife. And see, here's the miracle of it, okay? So when Nicholas joined, Nicholas invited Christopher and his wife to see the opportunity. I remember the first conversations. I mean, Christopher was excited, but he was probably as afraid as he was excited, you know? Well, I tell you, and it just took me back to my own first experience, you know? And long and short, after all the assurances, they decided, he and his wife decided to sign up 2 separate accounts, okay? So today, we're celebrating Christopher as a marketing director after less than 6 months of being with Worldventures, and his wife is also a director. All right, I'm sure. I'm sure within the next 2 weeks, Eugenia should also pop up as a marketing director. So imagine in one household, there's a marketing director and then there's a director. That's how amazing it is. Charlie, congrats, guys. Congrats. And then finally, I just, you know, somebody asked me, when you talk about questions, somebody asked me, how do I feel about Nicholas hitting regional marketing director when I'm not a regional marketing director? And when they asked me that question, I knew where they were coming from. You know, the day Nicholas hit regional marketing director, I was about to announce him. So I was building the momentum on the page. And when I started building the momentum, people on the page started congratulating me because they assumed that it was me who was becoming RMD. And then eventually I put it out there that it was Nicholas who was the RMD. Look, guys, let's put this in context. I bring this up because we're an open house. So let's put it in context. You see, we came in here to change our lives. We came into Worldventures to change our lives. We didn't come into Worldventures to compete with anybody, to make a statement against somebody or to compare, or at the end of the day, Charlie, when I make my money, I take it to my house. The question I ask myself is, has Worldventures made me money? Has it changed my life? Has it blessed my life? Absolutely, it has. You know, so, and I've been here for 2 years. I mean, the amount of money I've made through Worldventures, I would never have imagined that I would ever be able to make it. So that notion, I know there are many teams watching us and it will happen in different people's lives. It happens. There's a compensation plan. It is fair. It is open. All the system knows is 3 left, 3 right. Sometimes somebody might be lucky, but there's really nothing like luck. If you build the right foundation, eventually it will explode. Okay, so great that both of his legs have powered on. He's our king of cycles. He's doing really great. And I am absolutely proud of everything he's done. You have to understand this. First of all, I know the role I played in building this up. I know what I did for the team. I know what I did as an upline. And I know what I did for my friend and for my brother. You understand me? My joy, my sincere joy, my sincere passion, you know, I feel the way I'm sure Michael felt when I called him to tell him that I was marketing director. I feel the way I'm sure Martin felt when I hit marketing director as well. You know, so for me, look, we're not fighting for ranks and for recognition. That is the goal. That's the agenda. That's the plan. It's not about us as individuals. It's about the bigger picture. It's about
no sidelines.
No, Charlie, look, let's pop 100 IMDs in Ghana. Let's do that. If we pop 100 IMDs in Ghana, that is what, $50,000 a month times 100. That's $500,000 coming into Ghana every single month. You know, so let's do that. Let's do that. Imagine Martin. You know, I remember Martin doing a presentation for some of my guys, and then when they finished, you know the thing they said they don't believe that a guy makes $50,000 a month because he doesn't look like them.
People don't believe they can make that much, you know.
So Charlie, look, big ups to Nicholas, big ups to Christopher, Charlie. It's all joy, it's all joy. Today, tomorrow, we'll make noise. The whole page, we'll make noise.
Congratulations, Christopher, and your wife. Congratulations, Francesca, PJ. So we've got 2 more marketing directors coming up for my team. Watch out, this week is going to happen.
Wow.
So, yeah. We're going to take questions from a few people because we've already gone past 1 hour. Let me see if I can reach out to a few people. So we've got Efia's hand is up. I'm going to see if I can unmute Efia. So Efia, if you can hear me, please take it away. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Efia, yes, loud and clear. Take it away.
Okay. Well, I guess God wants me to ask questions today because I don't know how my hands were raised. Okay.
Are you kidding me?
All right. Kabutey, we met, I think, in the View. We met in the View last year or so, and then it was a pleasure meeting you. And just listening to you gives me a lot of hope, because of course there are some times that I don't want to say I want to quit, but I just feel I'm in my comfort zone and I don't want to do anything. I just want to be there. Okay, and then listening to you have actually made me to know that even though you might have been long gone, but you are still close and near. So, I remember you saying that it was what Martin said after you showed your baby to him that, waking you up. But aside that, what else made you to know that, well, I have to do this, aside Martin's words? Because I know he could have told you, but it was a personal decision that you made. What made you to make that personal decision that I need to do it?
Well, like I said, look, Charlie, we work hard in this country. We have nothing to show for it. My dear, let's be honest. Look, the average person, I'm more qualified than the average person in America or Europe or whatever. And yet they can walk into a Mercedes shop and buy a Mercedes. Do you understand the point I'm making? Why shouldn't I be able to do that here in Ghana? Why shouldn't I? I think that I came to a certain point, even before seeing Worldventures, where I realized, or I came to a conclusion that, Charlie, my life needs to be much bigger than it is. That I want to live a comfortable life. It's as simple as that. And I don't think any of us should be ashamed to say that I want to live a comfortable life. Like 2 days ago, I saw somebody drive a Mercedes Maybach. This is a Mercedes Maybach 2020 edition. And I was sitting there looking at the man. Came to park and he was walking around. You think he's not feeling good? Of course he's feeling good. So at a point in time, I just realized that, look, I work hard. I'm not a lazy person. I'm very open. I support people. I help people. But at a certain point, you need the right opportunity to be your propeller to send you to the next level. And when I saw Worldventures, I saw in Worldventures that right opportunity that will take me to the next level. I'm the only reason I'm still here. Look, that feeling you feel, I feel it the same. Trust me, even now. Let me tell you what's happening with my accounts right now. Nicholas, when I started, I put 4 people on one leg. And maybe for the people who are wondering, I know a lot of people are talking behind and wondering, why. And it's very simple. Your legs need to balance for you to make money, for you to hit the qualification, for you to rise. It's as simple as that. When I joined, I started building my right. Because my upline, Martin and his people were building that right was far ahead, you understand? So after putting 4 people in there, I moved to the other leg. I never paid attention to this leg ever again. Now that leg started building. So guess what? Nicholas is on the same leg. Dr. Boyson is on the same leg. My team in Nigeria is on the same leg. My team in the UK is on the same leg. Literally every producer I have is on that same leg. Can you imagine how it feels? When as a marketing director, sometimes you struggle to even get one cycle. Sometimes you struggle to get one cycle. And it may project that you're not doing anything. It may project that you are sleeping, that you're not walking the talk. Within the last 2 months, I'll tell you what has happened with my account on that same leg that I'm trying to build. I literally sign up 8 people. The next week, 6 of them quit. I don't tell anybody. I just keep it to myself. I literally put in people in there, and then 2 days later, people are asking for refunds and getting their money back. And Charlie, meanwhile, I'm looking for cycles. I hit lineage qualifications 2 months ago. Lineage-wise, I became an RMD 2 months ago. But the thing is just not coming. And sometimes it gets to you. Sometimes it touches you. But you see, even when you are low, you have to be there for your team. So right now, it's bigger than me, to be honest. Right now, it's bigger than me. If Worldventures puts me in a place where I have people whom I would have had to book appointments to meet them. I mean, look at somebody like Dr. Boyson. Dr. Boyson is accomplished in his own right. Come on. He didn't need to do this. And yet this man came in and literally put himself at my feet. Literally. Anything I say he should do, he'll do it. And he'll get this going. We have some really, really, really high profile people whom we're supporting as a team. And because of this opportunity, they can look up to us. Actually, it's a blessing of my life. It's a blessing of my life. And right now, I realize that, look, what we're doing, we're not doing it for ourselves. We're doing it for our children's children. We're doing it for posterity. We're building a foundation. Today, we may not realize, but Charlie, the day will come. You watch and see.
Definitely, the day will surely come. So we've heard from a lady. Let's give a guy an opportunity. So we have Eddie here. Eddie Aqua, if you can hear me, take it away.
Harold, thank you so much for the opportunity. MD Kabutey, what a powerful night, my brother. I mean, this has been everything in one. I mean, if this was something we had to pay for, I'll pay all my money for this. Thank you so much for the words and the lessons and all that. One thing you said that really caught my attention, we are fighting against poverty and not ranks and recognition. Powerful. Now, what is the one thing you tell all new members on this call who are afraid to show their chicken list, especially with your Nicholas example and all the other, PhD holders in your team and people you've been able to build up? Share with them what it takes to get out of that comfort zone and really show this to just anybody and everybody, especially networking up, and how much it can really change your business. Because the truth is, a lot of people are very comfortable sharing with their immediate circle, and that's it. And when it doesn't work, they say, it's one of those things that just can't happen for me. So please share your experience and hit on what they really have to do so that from tonight, change can happen. Thank you.
Look, I'll tell every one of those people, believe me when I tell you, people are hungry. Look, people are looking for this thing. Trust me. It's tough. I know, reaching out to some of those kinds of people, it's tough. It's difficult. But like Martin will say, when he's going to present to every people and they are bluffing him, in his mind, he's thinking, none of these guys makes $50,000 a month. And that's the truth. They may be whatever, wherever. In your mind, understand that you have something that they need. You have something that they need. And truthfully, you see, some of those people you're afraid to present to them all the same. When you do, it frees you. it frees you. Whether they say yes or not, it's not the problem. It will just free you. It will give you the opportunity for you to now go out and then show to some other people. You know, I still have that sometimes. There are people whom I hesitate. There are people whom I have to, you know, talk myself before I invite them and show this opportunity to them. But sometimes those are the people who make so much of the difference. Some of the people who are blowing our team up right now, sometimes I wonder why? How are they able to? You know, Dr. Asma, you know, Nana, and you know, and the team, you know, Dr. Boyson, you know, I'm just wondering why, how are they doing this? There are people who are okay, even, you know, middle level people. I've got some really, really inspiring people who are haven't yet reached where they want to be. I mean, let me talk about people like Fatima, people like, you know, Josephine. You know, these are people who are on the call, on the touch with me every single day, and we're trying to build this, or trying to push this thing, you know, and you're going to talk to your lecturer and you're wondering what's your lecturer going to think. You're going to talk to your boss and you're wondering what your boss is going to think and all of that. At the end of the day, ask yourself this. 1 year from now, when that person is making $10,000 a month, will that person look at you with gratitude, or they will look at you with scorn? 1 year from now, when because of you, they can take their family on a vacation without breaking their backs financially, how will they look at you? So you are carrying the cure for cancer. They're looking for patients. If you show it to the patient and the patient says, I don't want it, it's no big deal. So sometimes I do things for fun. Sometimes I look through my phone and I pick the biggest person who comes to my mind. And then I just go and pitch to them. Sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no. Sometimes they have the ITC disease. I'm too cool for this. That's okay, that's fine. Then sometimes in the conversation, they'll ask me, but so how much do you make? And I know I don't make much. I know I'm not there yet. Marketing director, $5,000 a month. But trust me, my brother, how many people in the world make $5,000 every month? How many people? So they asked me the question and I boldly tell them, oh, at the moment I make an average of $5,000, $6,000 a month. Then all of a sudden the temperature of the conversation changes, because money, Nicholas and I, when we started, we used to have a statement. We said, money is the power to do. The power to do. That is money. Everybody needs money. So some of those up people, they are the ones who will change the thing, because they bring so much credibility, so much profile. Sometimes they may not do so much work, but their membership of the team alone gives it profile, gives it belief, gives it more credibility. And that through them, you never know, will bring somebody. Let me tell you how somebody like Dr. Boyson came to my team. I signed up a silver member who brought one person. After that one person, I've tried up to now. She hasn't brought other people yet. That one person joined the team, and then I went to him, and then we started building, and then initially it was tough. Then he goes and brings his lecturer. Then his lecturer joins him, and in the space of 7 weeks, the lecturer has brought 400 people into the team.
Hey!
See how it works? Yes. Yes, I'm talking about Boyson. That is how it works. So imagine if you didn't pay attention to that silver. Imagine if I didn't pay attention to the one after him. And yet now Dr. Boyson, 4 steps under me, is the one who's blowing it up. And we'll go with the person who is blowing it up. So some of these people that you're talking to, that you're wondering, trust me, sometimes the people who have more, there's a reason why they have more. Sometimes they are the ones who see opportunities and they jump onto it. So go and talk to them. Can you imagine how it felt for Francesca to go and show this to President Kufuor? Can you imagine? Even though they may be, very close and all of that, still that takes a lot of. But here we are. We're all using Kufuor to raise the brand of Worldventures. So that's cool.
Right. Thank you so much for your question, Eddie. So on to a lady. We have Mary. Mary's hand is up. So Mary, if you can hear me, please take it away.
Hello. Good evening.
Yes, Mary, we can hear you.
Good evening, Kabutey, Harold. Hey, I'm Miss Woman. Good to hear you, and congratulations on achieving marketing director. I have so much respect for you to be able to hold on the fort. We are coming like Akai very soon. I just wanted to ask you something. When you signed up, how was your spouse coping with it initially?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that day I signed up. When I came home, I said, hey, we have joined something. And my wife was lost. She didn't know what was happening. The next day, you know what I did? I went to Michael and I took the presentation. When I came home that day, I invited my wife, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and my younger brother. So the four of them, all right? Right here in my living room, I connected the presentation to my screen, and then I presented to them. That was my first ever presentation of Worldventures. I'm sure I massacred it, but they had not seen any presentation before, so, so for them, it wasn't a big deal. Well, I was fortunate. I think I was blessed. When my wife saw it, especially when she saw my excitement about it, she decided, she said, let's do it. Let's do it. I see you're excited about this, so let's go ahead and do it. Then my younger brother said, okay, he'll do it. So my younger brother joined me. My brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, they said, oh, I didn't have to. It's nice. So, hey, this thing is weird. It's been almost 2 years. They still haven't joined. They see me traveling every now and again.
Is it the same with the Roman guys?
Oh, the Roman guys were the 30 guys I spoke about. They were the 30 guys. My body spa, Charlie, who just jumped boats. But you know what? You know what's funny? When I signed, when I became a marketing director, some of them called me.
Are you kidding me?
And decided to come back on board. So some of them joined my team. I reached out to a few as well, and I told them, look, the thing I showed you guys, it has changed my life. This is how far it has gone. It has taken me. I think it's still an opportunity for you. So some of them have joined my team, and I'm happy. I'm happy that eventually they have. You know, there's a season, there's a time for everybody in this business. You know, there are seasons and times for everybody. So I share it just as a learning from us, but it's not to look down on any of them. But there are also some of them, trust me, who are not able to even call me. Unfortunately, it's just the reality of life, because I really pushed them that much and they still never took advantage of it. So today, they wish they had, but unfortunately, they cannot seem to be able to allow themselves to even come and say, teach me and let me be able to do this with them. So I was blessed to have a spouse who embraced it, who decided to run with it for me. And to be honest with you, but for my wife, embracing and realizing that I really was passionate about this and taking care of things that needed to be taken care of so that I can be free to do this, I would not have been able to do it. So I really appreciate my family for it. And
awesome. Thank you very much for that. So Dr. Boyson is on the line, and I'm sure he has a question. So Dr. David Boyson, if you can hear me. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Harold, this is the first time I'm seeing you.
Dr. David Boyson.
Pleasure.
Charlie,
my mentor.
This man, Charlie. This is the man who brought 400 people into my team within a space of 7 weeks. Can you imagine that?
Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff.
Let's
hear you.
I said, Harold, Kabutey talks about this as if I did something.
But you have done something. You have done something.
Harold, I had grouped some PhD guys and were writing papers, you know, this Corona period.
Okay.
And Kabutey knows where I live. So I put them, I have a number of rooms where I live. So we were all constricted and were just writing papers. And then this guy of mine, one of my students, I think I taught him some 3 years ago on a CAS Europe program. It's a transnational program. So you see, we were hot looking for topics. And then he dropped this message, an opportunity to earn extra income from home. Then I am good at developing topics and models. So all of a sudden, then I said, okay, earning extra income from home, column, COVID-19 pandemic period. So I had the topic and I set my recorders and I was ready. So I zoomed into the presentation and then started recording. That day, fortunately for me, the man you see there, Kabutey, was the one firing. And as if it was something that was planned. So this guy took me off. I even forgot that I was doing the recording. And quickly, I went backstage and then did some few checks. And I realized that, no, this thing was true. And let me tell you something I did that I didn't tell Kabutey. At that time, I didn't then have any. I just called my insurance company and I told them that, see, you know, the educational fund, I mean, pull it down. And the guy said, what do you mean by that? I want to call, I will call your my manager. I said, give me the number. And then I called the manager. He said, you know, Dr. I said, hey, pull it down. Yes, please. He said, I'm going to charge you in excess of, you need to pay 200 Ghana. I said, pull it down. And then they had to credit my account. Immediately, I signed up. The reason why I want to tell you this is, you see, we have leaders and we have leaders. In my life, I have not seen anybody like this guy, Kabutey. I've never seen a leader who is so passionate about his work. And this guy you see today, I'm telling you, there's something in him that is we are yet to see. And that's why I'm proud to learn from his feet. Because I call him every day. Sometimes I call him and I do press up 5 times. And my other colleagues, Dr. Noble says that, are you crazy? He's not here, but I want him to feel, because this guy stays with me till 2 a.m. Can you just imagine? And for me, my character is just, I have this principle. I drink deep or I taste not. If I have to do it, I have to do it well. If I cannot do it, I don't taste it. That's my principle. And if you see my students, they will tell you, the PhD guys and all that. Anything I set myself to do, I want to be the best. If I cannot do it, I won't try. But Kabutey played almost 80% role in me achieving the 7 weeks of becoming a marketing director. But you see, he doesn't want to say it. But I'm telling you, all right, I only decided to listen. Is it difficult to call your upline and invite people? I was just telling someone this evening. I've just signed up about 5 people this evening as I sit here. You know what I do? I call you and I talk to you. I will tell you a simple story. Would you want to work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then get paid, with the Ghana cedi denomination? Or you want to invite and show this thing to people whilst you sit home and then get paid dollar-rated income? Which one is difficult? You have to make a choice, okay? So I've just signed up 5 people just this evening. Whilst I was talking to you, whilst we were presenting, and I'm not doing this because, like Kabutey is saying, because we need money too much. But see, if we can change lives, I'm very touched. In fact, if today I was not with Worldventures, I heard what Kabutey said, all right, I would have signed up again. All right, and the same question they were asking, whether Nicholas, you see, Kabutey has shown some maturity, some sort of maturity, and I'm proud of him. So you watch him. He is helping us get what we want. And this guy is going to explode very soon. And you wouldn't know why. Because you see, he has invested in us. And karma, the law of karma, is going to pay him back.
Boom!
So much, Harold.
Thank you so much, Dr. Boyce. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Congratulations on all your achievements as well. We're definitely proud to have you as a part of our company. So I'm going to move to the next person.
Just quickly, Harold, if you don't mind, there's just one question in here that I really want to just address for. So Eunice says, at least Kabutey, you earn $5,000 to $6,000. So when they ask you, you tell them. What about someone who is not earning? What do you tell them when they ask you how much do you earn? Eunice, here, And that's why I wanted to address this. Here's the point. That is the reason why you should not do the closings yourself. That is why you do three-way calls. You see, there's a psychology behind the three-way calls, and you need to understand it. There's a formula to this thing. A lot of people say no because we do not go by the formula. A lot of people. The formula is simple. The reason the person will show up to the presentation is because you invited them. If I had invited that person, they probably would not have shown up because there's no trust relationship between us. I hope you understand that. So it is your trust relationship that brings the person to the presentation. However, the person knows that you have not traveled with this, you have not made any money, you probably do not have a team yet. In their minds, they are thinking you are going to use them as a scapegoat. So even though they love you, even though they showed up because of you, you do not have credibility as far as Worldventures is concerned in their eyes. So you need to get somebody who has credibility with Worldventures in their eyes, and then they will listen to that person. But if that credibility also comes and your trust relationship is also not present, that credibility will also not work. So that triangle is important. You need to bring your trust and then let the credibility of the person, even though they are a stranger, they will have seen the person on the presentation, they would have seen a testimonial, they would have seen them doing the presentation. So that helps. So then they will never ask you that question, how much money have you made? Because you are not the one doing the closing. If I am doing the closing, I will use my evidence, I'll use my experience, I'll use my advantage. When I started, I wasn't doing the closing. Michael was doing all of our closings for us, you know, because he was ahead, he was ranked, he had made money, he had done a number of trips. So we used until we started getting our own, you know, evidence, and then we built it up. So use that, and that will definitely make the difference for you. Really, really look, the team, they will just keep to the formula. Nicholas has driven it so much, so passionately to the team. Martin has driven it. Keep to the formula, the three-way calls. It makes our work very hard. It makes us tired. But guess what? That is what puts the dollars on the account. So we do it as well.
So following the system is key. All right. The next person I'm going to allow to ask a question is Kwesi Tips. So Kwesi, if you can hear me, please take it away.
Hi, so Kabutey, I have been following your exploits as an MC because, you know, I myself am an MC, and we've been doing these things over social media, Facebook, Gloria Bachman interviews. But on this particular one, hearing you for the first time myself, and now I want to say, I don't know who put this initiative together, but Harold, I don't know who you are going to bring next week, but I'm equally excited because, look, I want to take this opportunity to say a big shout out to my upline, Irene Wesley. And if you know Irene, you know Irene has a work ethic. Irene will be on your case. And I, for one, I've had my ups and downs. And Kabutey, I just wanted to find out, there are times you look to certain people, they give you certain confidence with the way they speak about it. They've seen it. They even sign up. They start their whole doing the list. They hear a first no, a second no, and they are down. And then they come to you and say, oh, you know, it's just 2 weeks. Can I do this and get my refund? And then it's like, I thought we're in this together. And I find myself in that situation. Like, how do you pick yourself up? Because I tell you something. For me, I think being in any network marketing venture is a mental game. You need to be mentally strong because people you rely on would give you up, even at the point where you've led them through the gates. So how do you go back to the drawing board and say, look, forget what they have done. Let's go back. Let's find new people. Let's build it from there. Because it looks like you're building castles on the beach side, and the waves come back for it, and then you build again, the waves come back for it. How do you make sure that you see your castle built to the point where you can figuratively live in it?
Well, Kwesi, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm truly grateful for your very kind words to me. And I really, I see you and what you do on the MCing field as well. My brother, like Harold said at some point, we are looking for people who are looking for this opportunity. Look, it's not easy. It's not easy. I told you, I hit lineage for R&D 2 months ago. 2 months. And I've been looking for extra $5,000 to hit the income requirements. You know, and that leg is just not building. I look, trust me, I've had sleepless nights over this, man. And just like you're saying, that's what's happening. I signed 8 people up. So your mind is that, okay, you've signed 8 people this week. So by next week, those 8 people will start helping them to qualify, so that then they bring in the numbers and then you start growing and all of that. You put them in, you know, somebody says, oh, give me that, I'll make the payments myself. And then you put that in, and then they go and talk to somebody. And then before you realize, the next day, the same person who was so charged up, so fired up, and then it's just withered. It just goes, you know. You sign, I remember, I did like 8 people within a space of like a month. Every week, I was doing 8 people. And then by the next week, 6 of them have dropped off. 6 of them have dropped off. 6 of them have dropped off. And Charlie, the thing's not coming. And then I'm like, one cycle self at the struggle. One cycle, you know? But like I said, somebody is going to come along. Somebody. The only way we know for sure that nobody will come along is if we quit. Can you imagine the amount of holding volume, which would have been in the back office of my upline at this time? Can you imagine the amount of holding volume in her back office? But she has quit. So she would never be able to realize that money. So find a way to pick yourself up. Keep close to the fire. That's why you need to keep close to the fire. The personal development is so important, you know. Follow our leaders on social media. When you hear some of these things, you know, these Zooms and trainings and coffee break things and all of that, you know, we are very, very close to Martin. I mean, Martin has allowed himself to become close to us. He's brought himself down to our level. You know, Michael carried that same torch for the longest time. And we have tried to also stay close and in touch with our people so that we can motivate and inspire each other. You know, sometimes when my people call me to do a 3-way call, they have no idea what I'm going through. They have no idea how I feel in that particular moment. But can you imagine? They are looking for their first sign up. Their first sign up. If I allow how I feel to affect the quality of the closing I do for them, then they don't get their first sign up. You understand? And if they get their first sign up, who knows? That sign up will bring somebody and then that is what will blow up the thing, and then we go. And so, you know, right now, look, even as I'm traveling to build this leg, you know, the temptation is, if you're not careful, you will start abandoning those on that strong leg. When they call you self, then you walk, you know, because you want to build the weaker leg. Meanwhile, it is only the strong people are just powering. But guess what? Holding volume is never lost. So, my brother, keep the faith.
And it's actually very funny how I was sharing. It's like most of the things that we are discussing today and you mentioned today are things that it's just been, you know, things that I've actually had to encounter today. I spent my whole day with the team on my team leg. That I spent my whole day with people on my team leg, my whole day, you know. And I learned this from Anand when he was telling me about how he was building in the beginning, and he used to work with everybody regardless of whether they paid them immediately or not. You see, because it's all about the bigger picture and tomorrow. So it's something that we also need to pick up as we begin to build and climb the ladder. So listen. It's past 11 p.m. I don't know if you guys still want to ask questions, but hey, I don't know, man. You guys seem to be enjoying this. Let's take two more questions and then we'll wrap this up, okay? So Cokes is on the line. Cokes, if you can hear me, take it away. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, Cokes, we can hear you. Please make it snappy.
Okay. Good evening and thank you very, very much. The two of you, you know, it's so great hearing this every Monday, because now I feel like I'm home. You know, sometimes when you are listening to, the international people, you feel like, this thing only happens internationally, but now it is home. You understand? Because I've now felt the fire myself. I was close to 60 here, 60 there. And in some few weeks, I am even going down to 30. I'm so surprised. But then, before now, Harold had already given some message, and that message, I keep playing it every day. and it has to keep me strong because he told me, prepare for it. Prepare for it. And Kabutey, I am telling you, you have done a great, great job, man. You know what? I gathered my church people and I was trying to present to them and I was doing it. And then one of them just stood up and said, are you sure this thing is real? And then all of a sudden, another guy just stood up. I think you know him, Bernardo Drew. Then he said, oh, yeah, it's real. There's a guy in my team at Rovermont. He keeps telling us about this, and I have not done it. He keeps traveling up and down. So you were not even there, but he was a testimony for me. You understand? So you guys are doing a great job. I'm so excited. When I saw you hitting marketing director, I placed it on my page. And another lady also called me and said, hey, so you know Kabutey? I said, yes, he's part of my group. He said, wow, you guys are doing great. Oh, then I'll join you. You see, so definitely what you are doing, even though it's indirect, some of us are already benefiting. And I'm so glad, Harold, I thank you so much for doing this every Monday. And I bet you next week, I am waiting to see who is next. Thank you very much, guys.
Definitely. Okay, thank you so much, Cokes, for those words. We're going to move and take a last question. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry. As usual, we can't take all questions because time is not on our side, you know. I'm going to take one last question. Who is it going to be? 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 Cletus, you are the first, so I'm going to give you the chance. Cletus, can you hear me?
Yes.
Cletus,
yes, I can hear you.
Take it away.
Thank you so much, Harold. Harold, you are absolutely amazing, and MC, you are also a blast. Thank you so much.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So, Harold, thank you so much. It looks like everything you guys were saying today is related to me. Within a space of 3 days, over 7 people in my team are asking me how do they quit. And, they've actually sent message to Worldventures trying to get their refund back, and going now from there to zero. What keeps you when you see that massive drop? Because right now I'm having to face massive drop in my team. What is that one thing that keeps you going when you get up and see your back office and it's drilling as if it is rainfall? What do you do? What do you do at that point?
Well, my brother, I'm going to use an analogy that just popped up in my mind to explain this for you. You see, let's assume that you are on top of a big mountain. You're on top of Everest. And there's a big boulder, there's a stone, there's a big stone that you're supposed to push so that it rolls on the side of the mountain, okay? Now, this stone is very big, but just at the, I don't know how to explain, at the front, let me put it that way, of the stone, there's another smaller stone that has blocked the big stone you are trying to push. Now, you know this big stone is so heavy. And so even though that small stone that's blocking it is so small, the amount of energy you need to push the big stone over that small stone, okay, is so much. You can imagine, I hope you can see in your mind's eye what I'm trying to explain. Now, you're asking me what is keeping me going right now, because that's where my account is like right now, okay? One leg is over 1,000 and the other leg is, is limping, okay? Now, the image in my mind that is holding me right now, that I'm holding on to, is when eventually I'm able to find one way or another to push that boulder over that small stone. Do you know what's going to happen? When that boulder hits the edge of the mountain and that boulder starts rolling down, it's going to be beautiful.
Game over.
It's going to be beautiful. So that's the day I'm waiting for.
Game over.
That's the day I'm waiting for.
Thank you so much for your time, Kabutey. It's been such, man, you have no idea, man. I am truly, truly grateful. I'm sure, you know, your being on this call has done more than you can ever imagine, man. Listen, I can't wait for the feedback, but listen, for me, I've learned a lot. You know, today feels like my first day in Worldventures, and I'm truly grateful for making time. You know, you accepted to be on this call, and you've over-delivered, and we are so grateful to you for that. Your last words to the team, and then we can call it.
My last words, maybe I'll jump on to one of the questions. Anonymous says, good stuff, guys. The question on my mind is, how does the last person on earth to be signed on to a structure like this make money if there's nobody to be signed up? My answer to you is this. My answer to you is this. Listen, Jesus Christ died 2,000 years ago, right? And since then, the whole world has been preaching the gospel. And yet, there are still people alive today who have never heard the word Jesus Christ in their life. So that day you are thinking about is hypothetical. It's not real. Because you know what? Every day, do you know the number of people who turn 18 years every day? Every day, millions of people turn 18. That's new people for us to sign up. By the time we are close to finishing, you are expiring at the other end. So don't worry about it. Guys, all I'm going to say in the end is, first of all, thank you guys so much. Harold, thank you so much. This platform that you've created is impacting all of us, and it's just connecting with that core value of Worldventures that talks about one big team. You know, and for us in Ghana, I know that we are all on one big agenda, even though we have our personal goals, our team goals. I know that what we are doing together is all going to come together to get us officially opened, and then we can really blow this thing off the top of the head. All I'll say to everybody out there is that, look, it's not easy, and don't expect it to be easy. It is when you expect it to be easy, that's when it really gets to you, when it's tough. There are tough days, I kid you not. This thing has made me cry. This thing has broken my heart sometimes. This thing has weakened me. This thing has made me feel inadequate sometimes. This thing has made me question people I've known my whole life. This thing has made, all of it together. But guess what? We have been prepared for a bigger platform. We've been prepared for a bigger level of impact. The question is, are people winning with this? If people are winning, then the problem is not with the product. It's not with the system. Have you heard Wayne Nugent talk? Have you heard Mark Aseta talk? Have you heard Eddie Head talk about this company and the vision that they have for this company? Look, they are not boasting when they say that, this is the place to be. We have the deal, guys. We have the deal. It's painful when people are not embracing it, but just keep going. Just keep going. As I speak to you, I speak to myself. Just keep going. Today alone, you have no idea the number of people I was speaking to today, and the number of people whom the thing started playing on, and they just shut their minds off. You have no idea. Today alone. So as I speak to you, I speak to myself. But you see, the day is going to come. The day is going to come. I want you to shut your eyes. Just think about it. The day is going to come when the auditorium is full, when everybody is charged up, and when Mark Aseta allows his guy at the back end to do the voiceover, and the guy makes a noise and says, you know what, and now, coming all the way from Accra, Ghana, this is our latest IMD in the house. And they go, yay, and they're mentioning, what is your name? And they're mentioning, you mention your name, and they mention Kabutey Ocansey from Ghana. And in my case, the song that's going to drop?
Tell us.
Maybe today I no get nothing. But tomorrow I go get something. We are going to for mama. But the enemy won't worry me. I will show all of them tragedy. Hey, no be today, we start to quest. So if I sing my song, awesome. For long. Because you don't know the day when Jesus Christ will come. So if you see me today, I know my level. So the song is going to play. It's going to play. Today, you are looking for your first sign-up. Sashin had to find his first sign-up. When I heard that he presented to about 145 people before he got his first sign-up, I was blown away. There's a guy in my team right now I respect so much. I respect so much. I respect so much. Papani, Charlie, I respect you. I really, really, really respect you. Papani has presented to over 300 people. I swear. I know it because I do the three-way calls for him. Over 300 people. And he has still not gotten his first four. But you know what he tells me? He tells me, Kabutey, until every single person on my phone says no, that is when I know that then I have finished. But for now, there are still people on his phone who have said, who he has not reached out to yet. And so we are still here. So when I feel like giving up, I remember people like Papani. When I feel like giving up, I think about people like Josephine, who started this thing, and I had to be on the call with her for 1 hour trying to close because she's had some bad experiences in the past. You know, I remember in my mind, when I want to give up, I remember conversations Nicholas and I had. There were days that we were driving from each other. He was driving in one direction, I was driving in another direction, and both of us were in tears. We were days that were that deep, that low. But you see, our glory is coming. Our celebration is coming. There are people who need us. Think about if Martin had not brought this to us. Think about if Charles had not said yes to us. Think about if Sachin had not said yes. All of this, where would it be? So let's keep out the good fight. We have the deal, and let's go get it to the top. Thank you so much,
indeed.
Harold.
Thank you so much for your time. Definitely, Kabutey Ocansey, marketing director. You know your level. We are so grateful for taking time out to be on our special Monday Night Live. Ladies and gentlemen, so same time next week, we're coming your way with a very special guest. Man, guys, I can't wait. I can't wait for next week's guest. So fingers crossed, Sunday, we'll be announcing our guest for next Monday, and it's going to be another set of fireworks. Thank you so much for taking time out to be on the call. It's past almost 12 midnight. We're going to call it a night right now. We're going to move on to personal development. It's VUS.
Hey, Harold, wait. I told you we have to challenge each other on this call today. I told you. So okay. Guys, this one is an open challenge. I want you to find your own person who's at the same rank with you and have an open challenge with them. Harold is a marketing director. I know he has the lineage. He's also looking for the income to become RMD. So he and I are probably at the same level. So Charlie, today, open challenge.
Open challenge. Guy, go.
If I hit RMD before you,
what happens?
Your next movie script, I will play it.
Listen, man, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So, listen, but like you said, we're doing RMD before the view. We're doing RMD before a view from the edge, for sure. We're coming live. Hopefully, the airport should be open. We're going to be walking stage live as RMDs for sure. I know that for a fact. So thank you so much, Kabutey, for being on.
Brother.
Thank you so much for honoring my invitation. It's been a pleasure coming your way with Monday Night Live. My name is Harold Amenyah, marketing director. Same time next week, I'll be back with yet another session. Thank you. Have a good night.